All right, this question for Court, this may be the last question for the day. Poppy buying a home, and in this email, a long lost heir of a previous owner of the home that she's buying has emerged, claiming ownership of the property that Poppy is buying. The heir argues that this heir's ancestors' will was improperly probated, rendering the subsequent transfers of the property since then invalid. She's wondering, true? What can she do? And does she pull out?
All right, Poppy, I love your name. It's beautiful, by the way. So it may be true. And that is one of the many reasons why owner's title insurance is essential, even though it's optional. Okay. We have seen that. And where you have an undisclosed heir back in the chain of title, they may very well have an interest in that real property. So if they brought suit against you and challenged your interest, that would be your out-of-pocket cost to defend. And potentially you could lose, your investment, the money you've put into that property via purchase price improvements, et cetera. But if you have owner's title insurance, they will pay to protect you for that, assuming that's a covered risk, which, generally that fact pattern it would be. Also, just letting you know, Kentucky probate can be sometimes, especially from an intestate and affidavit of descent, a little bit loosey-goosey, so to speak. So it's not as tight as some of the other states, surrounding states that we have for probate, like Indiana, for instance, which is a little bit tighter. So I think that makes us a little bit more vulnerable. So for maybe some of those undisclosed errors, or whether it be intentional fraud, maybe, another family member just forgot conveniently, I'm putting air quotes around forgot to name this heir in an affidavit of descent. So there's so many things that could have contributed to that as to how this person is popping up later on. But nonetheless, I mean, if they have a right to the property, then they have a right. They have an interest and should be compensated for that. We just want to make sure that you're protected, because obviously that's something that you knew nothing about and did not intend for. Now, you said buyer. If you're buying the property
Yeah.
and you haven't bought it yet, then the seller would need that owner's title insurance to make a claim. In fact, most good contracts will have that seller's contractual obligation is to provide good and marketable title. So that marketable title would be, one that's insured. So if the seller has owner's title insurance, they can make a claim, get that figured out. And, frankly, and not meaning to scare you, but it's possible that transaction may not go through just
Yep.
because the claim is covered.
Yeah, and if this issue has risen, can Poppy buy owner's title insurance? Will a title insurance company write on that house if they know that there's a chain of command break? And
I would say it's well, I would venture to wonder if it would even be insurable.
Yeah.
Certainly, if they were able to have coverage, that would be excluded. That type of coverage would be excluded. But I think, given the severity of what you're saying, I doubt that that's even insurable. So that's why I said I'm not even sure that her purchase will be able to come to fruition until that issue's solved. Because let's be honest, that seller may not own the property, depending on the type of interest that this undisclosed heir has. If they allegedly have 100% interest and they're the rightful owner of the properties, not the seller.
Got it. We are out of time. Our thanks to Cora Henderson, who is one of the head honchos over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys, LLC. You can reach Cora to get your loan closed, and for a variety of other things over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys. You can reach them at 895-9900. Also, our thanks to Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They come in as a team, and he also owns Team Bug Out. So you can get your bugs removed, or your mice, if you listen to the beginning of the show. You can reach Brad at 844-411-TEAM. And by the way, you can re-listen to this show. LouisvilleAnswers.com is the place to go. And a reminder also, you can see what people are saying about our Sokoler team by going to LouisvilleZillow.com or LouisvilleGoogle.com and reading our reviews. And if you're thinking of selling now or in the future, I'd love to help you with a free, no obligation estimate. It's me, no home too big, no home too small. Call me 376-5483 or go to BobSellsLouisville.com. We're out of time. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.